Hello, good people. We are back again on the King's table. We are here to share the feast that the King has prepared for us today. It is a banquet that we may feast together. So I am expecting everyone to be ready for this feast so that we can enjoy together. Yes, come on board wherever you are. I welcome you. Come on board that we may cruise together. You don't have to miss this one. Please. Yes. Thank you for those who are joining in. This show is for you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for those who are joining in. Thank you. Thank you. It is good. It is well for us to be here and receive that which the Lord has prepared for us. Continue to join in, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are. Thank you for those who are coming on board. Today is today. I am here, your host, Bishop Knowledge. I'm here to share with you some nuggets of life on the King's table. On the King's table. So today we are going to be talking about discipline to success. Discipline to success. Let me first by saying that if you really desire to be successful, you also need and have to be disciplined. I am going to base my talk on Luke chapter 15, verse 11 to 32, which is a story about the prodigal son. I am not going to read it, but I am going to narrate it and also share with you what the Lord has revealed to me on the basis of that story. It is the story that Jesus used to illustrate an important point in his teaching. So the story goes like, he said there was a man who had two sons. The younger one, who was less experienced and who had much speed in doing his things, this one went to the father and said, may you please give me the inheritance that is going to be mine when you are no longer there, so that I can see what I can do. So the father asked him and said, what is the problem? You have been here, you have been enjoying everything that is here belongs to you. Then he insisted and said, Father, give me my inheritance. I want to go. So the father had to give him his inheritance, and he left and go to a far country. The Bible says when he was there, he got a lot of friends who were enjoying with him. They begin to enjoy themselves, to play games, to do these things, this and that, to use that money until the money got finished. Then that's when he discovered that I do not have any friends. So all the friends that he had left him, and he was left alone. So nobody could take him into his house until he decided to get a job. The only available job that was there was that to take care of pigs. And the owners of the pigs were difficult people. They could not give him food, so he would desire to eat the food of the pigs. That's when he decided and said, oh, in my father's house there are a lot of servants who have got food to eat and they leave some. Why can I not go back to my father and said, I have sinned against you and against God. Do not call me your son anymore, but you call me a servant and treat me as one of the servants. So he went back to the father. The Bible says the father saw him far off and he had to run and welcome him. Then the son had to say to the father, do not call me your son anymore, because I am not worthy to be called a son. But what you need to do is to call me a servant and treat me as one of the servants. Then the father ignored this talk, and he had to slaughter a fattened calf, and he had to throw a banquet to celebrate the coming back of his son. Then the son who was with him was not pleased. Then the father had to say, everything that is here is still yours. Why should you be angry because I am welcoming your brother? He was lost and now he is found. So you don't have to be worried about anything because everything that is here belongs to you. That's the story of the prodigal son. The story that I am going to base my teaching on. The teaching of discipline. Let me first by define the word discipline. According to the Oxford Online Dictionary, discipline is the practice of training people to obey rules and code of behavior with punishment or distinguished consequences for those failing to comply. That's discipline. I also searched for self-discipline. The same dictionary said, self-discipline is the ability to control oneself's feelings and overcome one's weaknesses. Then they had to omit something that I think is very, very critical. They omitted the issue of consequences. So everything that we do in this life, whether positive or negative, has got its own consequences. Whether you do it by mistake, whether you do it by plan and by design, whether you were forced or you were talked into it, but the bottom line is whatever you do in this life has got consequences. Whether you are going to, whether it is something that you have done which is positive, it has got you reap the positive results of what you have done. And if it is negative, then you are going to have a harvest of thorns because of the things that you have done or the things that you have sown. So everything that you do, everything that you have done has got consequences in this life. You cannot do things and forget about it and nothing happens to you. No, it doesn't work that way. The Bible even says you reap what you sow. So whatever you sow, you are going to reap that. Right. I want to say to you this morning, lack of discipline caused the prodigal son to demand the portion that was going to be his when his father died. In other words, he was saying, I have been waiting for your dead father, but it looks like you are not dying. So give me what rightly belongs to me, that I will inherit when you are no more. So he wished his father dead. In other words, I am saying sometimes you communicate what you what you did not intend to communicate. So be careful on what you do, what you say, how you do it, how you say it, because you might end up communicating the things that you did not desire to communicate. This young man was not disciplined at all. He had no discipline in him, and he had the audacity of going to the father to demand the wealth of the father, forgetting that it was the father who actually worked for these things, and it was the father who had sustained them and maintained them to this level. And he did not desire to learn how the father was doing it, or how the father accumulated all these things to this level. But because of lack of discipline, he just decided to get what will belong to him and go away. Let me say to you, ladies and gentlemen, if you give a lot of money to a person who does not have discipline, many times you must know that people who are not disciplined, they don't have plans. If you see a person who is not disciplined in this life, be rest assured that this person does not have a plan in life. So this young man, when he was demanding the wealth of the father, or the portion that was going to be his when the father died, he had no discipline, and undisciplined people do not have plan. So he did not have a plan. This is why you see many people who won lotteries are broke today. Why? Because they won a lot of money without plan and discipline, or without discipline and plan. So these are the things that will sustain, or that will keep you to a level where money cannot sustain you. Money can elevate you to a certain level, but without discipline and plan, you can still go back to the original settings. If you grew up in poverty, and if you won a lottery and you don't have discipline and plan, you are going down to poverty again. So it is very, very critical for you to have discipline, and plan in life. Right. I want you to understand that we see that this young man who asked the portion of the wealth did not have discipline and plan because of what he did when he went away. The Bible tells us that he went out there and began to enjoy himself with women, with friends, buying anything that money can buy. until the money ran out, which means he had no plan to make sure that there is still money that is coming in, even if this man that he is using runs out, there is still more coming in. He did not make that plan because he was not disciplined. He could not have a plan. So never expect success in this life if you are not disciplined. Discipline will help you to draw a plan. Discipline will help you to move step by step going forward. Discipline will sustain you where nothing else can sustain you. Because discipline can be synonymous with character. Character can sustain you where man cannot sustain you. Can keep you to a level where you have been put by things or by people. Character or discipline. I want you to understand that I have seen some chefs preparing, or maybe bakers preparing a cake. You'd find that sometimes they separate yolk from the rest of the egg. But later on, as the recipe is being made or being mixed, you'd find that all the portions end up in the same cake. But the process has to be done whereby you separate the yolk from the rest of the egg, from the egg white. If you don't do that, the cake will not come out as it should be. So you only separate so that the process can go through. So a lot of people do not like the process whereby the things are being separated, these are being mixed. They don't like the process, but they like the product. This is very true in life. A lot of people love and likes the product, the good product, or a rich person. They want to be rich. They want to be successful. They want to drive cars. They want good houses. They want everything nice, but they don't want the process whereby you are going to be separated, whereby you are going to be mixed with other things that are foreign to you. They don't like that process. But that process helps you to maintain your discipline, and also helps you to actually have ownership of the things that you have done or the things that you have accumulated. And you don't just throw them away because you know their value. But if it is something that you have been just given, you don't know the value. The person who worked for $1,000 or £1,000 knows the value of that money. But a person who has been given £1,000 or $1,000 do not know the value of that money because they did not work for it. So when it comes to use it, they are not disciplined at all as to how they use that money, as to how they can make sure that this money does not just buy useless things and go. No. They make sure that this money must produce something that I will remember that at one point I had $1,000. But those people who are not disciplined, they don't think about those things. What do? They just do their own thing. and move forward, eating that money, using that money, buying anything that their eyes attracted to. Disciplined people, they make sure that they don't just buy anything, that they are everything that their eyes are attracted to. Your eyes can be attracted to anything and everything, but doesn't mean that you must have it. No. Be disciplined. Discipline has got also a connotation of patience. Sometimes you need to be patient enough to wait for some things to happen so that you can pick it up and move forward. So this young man that we are talking about from the book of Luke chapter 15 was not disciplined to the extent that he did not have patience to wait for the father to go in peace. And then he will decide what to do after the father has gone. But he was not patient enough to wait. He did not have the courage to wait for his time. He could not wait. He desired to do what he wanted right now. Like the generations that we have got around us these days, they are microwave generations. They want things to happen now and now. People who were impatient, who were not disciplined, who were not willing to wait, yet to find the hard way that things cannot just happen, but you are going to suffer the consequences. Absalom in the Bible, the son of David, could not wait for his father to die before he take over the kingship. He wanted the kingship while the father was still alive, and he had to take it by force. But let me assure you and say to you, he did not go very far. He was killed. His life was ended prematurely. Why? Because he failed to discipline himself. He failed to be patient. He failed to wait where he was supposed to be waiting. So I want to say to you, make sure that you try by all means to use these things that I am talking about for you to be successful, no matter which level of life you are in. No matter you are still poor, you are still desiring to get something or to get out of poverty, or you are in the middle class, you wish to grow further. Wherever you are, you need these things. Be disciplined. Be patient. You have the power and the ability to wait. Some things needs you to wait. You need to learn to wait for other things to happen. Right. There is also a guy called Amnon in the Bible who ended up raping Tamar, his half-sister. Why? Because he could not wait for the process. He could not be patient for the process to take place. He was not disciplined at all. He had to let his desires overpower him until he had to rape his half-sister. The Bible says Tamar had to negotiate with him and say, no, don't do this thing. If you love me, you can ask to the king to marry me. He cannot deny you. Because that time they could marry their half-sisters. So she tried to negotiate, but simply because this guy had no discipline in him, he was overpowered by his emotions and desires. There are a lot of people, when they have got desire, when they've got emotions, they cease to think because they are not disciplined. All people who are not disciplined, they don't think. People who are disciplined do think and do use good discretion to decide whether to do A, B, C, D or not. But this guy was not disciplined. I want to submit to you, ladies and gentlemen, that if you want to ever be successful in this life, learn to be disciplined, learn to wait, learn to be patient. These things are very critical for a person who wants to be successful in this life. There are things that I want you to actually know about discipline, the areas that I want you to look into to make sure that you are disciplined in those areas. You must be disciplined, number one, even in small things. There are small things, everyday things, the things that we do almost every day. You must be disciplined in those things. Some of them we cannot discuss them in detail, but to mention them, some can say, no, not that area, I'm already disciplined. But there are people who are not disciplined in those areas, right? Be disciplined in your prayer life. Be disciplined in your prayer life. Prayer needs discipline. You cannot be a successful prayer person without discipline. You need to be a person who is consistent. The Bible teaches about consistency in prayer. The Bible talks about patience in prayer. The Bible also teaches to desire to continuously asking, continue knocking, doing the things, asking the things that you want to happen. Some are not disciplined. This is why if they pray for some things in January, by now we are in October. If those things did not happen in their life, they have forgotten about them already. They are not disciplined in prayer. Oh, am I talking to someone? Right. Number two, some are not disciplined when it comes to food. They can eat anything, anywhere, anytime. They don't mind what it is, who cooked it, where it is coming from. They can eat anything. These are the people whom you see in buses buying things that they do not know where it was cooked through the windows of the door, the buses, buying some things which might cause harm even to their bodies. You must be disciplined. These are small, very small things, but they point to bigger things. If you can't be disciplined on these small things, then you can't be disciplined on bigger things. The Bible says, if you are not trustworthy on smaller things, then you cannot be trusted with the bigger things. So, you need to be disciplined when it comes to food. Tell yourself, there are things that I do not eat. There are places I do not eat. I do not eat every time. There are times I do not eat. Be disciplined in terms of food. Be disciplined on personal hygiene, bathing, trimming the hairs and everything. Be disciplined. You need that hygiene. You need to be disciplined on personal hygiene. Be disciplined on how to talk. You must know whom you are talking to, how to talk to them, when to talk to them. Don't just talk anyhow. Be disciplined in the way you talk. Even if people are kicking you, it doesn't give you the passport to speak anyhow. If you are a disciplined person, you know how disciplined people talk. You don't just talk anyhow. Like, do not be careless with your words. The young man that we are talking about from Luke chapter 15, he said, give me the portion of inheritance that is going to be mine. He did not consider how his father is going to feel about it. He did not consider the meaning behind his speech, which he did not think about. So sometimes you need to make sure that you are disciplined in terms of how you speak. Speak to others with respect, and they will respect you in turn. Be disciplined how you respond to situations. Be disciplined on how to handle people of opposite sex. Keep your hands to yourself. Don't try to touch people. Be disciplined. There are people who are like that. They do not keep their hands to themselves. They are not disciplined. Be disciplined. Be disciplined. This one is a big one. On finances. The difference between you and the next person, it's all about discipline on finances. Some people are not disciplined to the extent that what they care about is how they look today. So if they get money, they will buy big labels. They don't budget. They don't think about tomorrow. They don't think about investment. They just buy things. Thank God you managed to get that money. Don't think that it will more is coming. I have seen a lot of artisanal miners, makorokoza, artisanal miners. What they do is, after selling their gold, they use everything, all the money that they got to the last cent before they go back to the mine. That is a recipe for disaster, or in its fullest sense, that is stupidity. You need to be disciplined when it comes to money. Discipline yourself. Make sure that you have got something that you save. Make sure that your money is valuable. Make sure that your money is kept for future use or investments. Make sure that you have got something. Be disciplined. You must have the discipline to even say no. This is a very precious word, to say no. Sometimes you need to say no to your friends. Sometimes you need to say no to your relatives. Sometimes you need to say no to your children. Sometimes you need to say no to even the respected people in your life. It is discipline that causes you to say no. Some people ended up losing their jobs. Why? Because they could not say no. This person from your village has died. Can we go to the rural areas? This one has died. Can we go to the rural areas? Each time you are asking for permission at your workplace to go out and bury the dead. Sometimes you need that discipline to say no. Your friend says, let's do this, you go. Let's go there, you go. You must have that discipline sometimes to say no. It's very critical for your life to consider other things other than to just listen to what people are saying. Oh, I have been talking for too long. Let me try and conclude. Right. So, you also need to be disciplined on the bigger things, like your goals. Be disciplined when it comes to your goals. What do I mean when I say be disciplined to your goals? Right. Sometimes we fail because we have got a lot of goals in our lives, or within a year or within a month we have got a lot of goals that we have said, I want to do A, B, C, D. Then you discover, oh, I can't do everything, and you end up doing nothing. That's typical of a lot of people. So I want to submit to you that you need to make sure that you have got fewer goals. Sometimes it's even better for you to pursue one goal at a time. After achieving that goal, then you go to the next. Then you go to the next. Other than saying I've got 5 goals and you are trying to pursue all the 5 at once, unless if the 5 do complement each other. But you need to be disciplined to the extent that you make one goal at a time, or 2 they are manageable. Then you make sure that you are consistent in pursuing those goals. Don't just talk about them and forget, but you must make sure that you are consistent on those goals. Follow them through. Go after them. Be actually a go-getter. Go after them and get them. And after achieving, then you go to the next goal. I told you yesterday that about 10% of people who were interviewed in 2014 or who were part of the research that was done in 2014 about New Year's resolutions, 10% they said they had to set too many goals. That's why they achieved nothing. 10%. They achieved nothing because they say they had to set too many goals. Okay, let's move on. The second thing on your personal goals is make them attainable. Do not set a high-flying goals without landing gears. Sometimes we think that faith can deliver without a way. Faith does not work in vacuum. It works with what is in you. If you have got discipline, if you have got strong mentality, if you have got that, some of these things I addressed them in the past videos. So if you have got those other things, then faith can combine those things so that you can achieve greatness. But if you just say you are not working, you don't have a job, you are still looking for a job, and you write on your resolutions and say, this year I'm going to buy a car, that's stupidity. How can you buy a car and you don't have a job yet? You must set goals which are attainable. Goals that are achievable, that are within your reach, that are possible. About 40% of the people who were interviewed in 2014, according to this research, they said 40% said they could not attain their goals because they were unrealistic. Do you want to be one of them, setting goals which are not realistic? You must set something that is within you, within your reach. For example, if you are working and you say to yourself, this year I'm going to be saving $100 or £100 or whatever money that you use from wherever you are, because we are a mixed bag here. I'm going to be saving £100 each month. That means at the end of the year, you are going to be having £1,200. And if you say after that year, I am going to buy a car, yes, you are talking. That is within your grasp, because you have got a plan. Disciplined people have got plans. Disciplined people have got the ability to make sure that they push the agenda to the next level. So such people, if you are like that, you are working and you are saying, I'm saving this much because at the end of the year, I'm going to buy a car. Truly, you are going to achieve it. And sometimes, even before the end of the year, if grace abound, then you are going to buy it earlier than planned. Then you will say, thank you, Lord, for the miracle that I have managed to achieve these things before time. You must have these goals. It's not even safe, or it's even worse to say simply because I don't have this much discipline, so I don't want to have these goals. That's worse. You must have these goals, and they must be realistic. They must be attainable. They must be within your reach, your grasp. Right? You must have these goals. If you don't have a goal, if you are working, you can be always broke. You are going to be always broke. Even if you get a lot of money, you are going to be broke at the end of the day, because you are not disciplined. You don't have a plan. Just like the prodigal son, he was given riches without a plan. What happened? He remained poor, because he was poor inside him, not outside. Sometimes people would want to show off and to show themselves what they can do, what they have. But let me assure you that people do not care about what is inside. Do not fool yourself. Be disciplined. Be disciplined. I have said my part. It is now your part to go out there and implement, to make sure that you are disciplined all throughout your life. Be disciplined in everything. Some of the things I did not mention where you need to be disciplined, but you know, a disciplined person will discover other areas that you need to be disciplined in. You need that discipline. May the good Lord bless you. Because of my time, I did not intend to be this long. However, it has gotten to this. I thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for coming to the King's Table with your host, Bishop Knowledge. I am here again tomorrow. I will be talking to you. Please don't miss it. Be with me tomorrow, and let's make a date. Goodbye. Have a good, blessed day. Thank you. I salute you. Thank you. Bye-bye.